Hanji, USR the podcast, episode 1.
Go on, lads.
Guys,
No.
no clapping for me.
No clapping.
Go, what is your obsession with me and Bally
You know,
clapping?
with the clapping, especially like after you packing up a show, you drive back home from London, Newcastle, wherever it is. I'm driving and all I hear is claps from you to the most randomest song. Like
What do you mean sad songs?
the,
Who
sad,
did the
the saddest song, like, you know, someone's happiest day of their lives, yeah. I come home like, take a leave back here, and I can hear you clapping the most.
So Bally, I got to be honest with you. You're not clapping. It brings out the song a little bit more, doesn't it, Bally?
Of course.
So I think Gopi's
I'll tell you what, I've got a good idea.
Huh.
The next show,
Yeah.
when is it? Is it India?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to clap all the way from India, from Amritsar Airport to Birmingham Airport.
Lads, I want to come on this trip.
To be fair, something about the drive back from gigs ain't it sick, boys? Ain't it lit? Because I'll tell you why.
I prefer the drive there because you get your coffee. You know, you guys are quiet. You're calm.
Be
Can I just say,
quiet.
I had my hand up like I was in school waving.
Yeah. What's up, Bally?
When I say quiet, I mean like you're
Quieter.
you're asleep basically.
Yeah, Bally, what you want to say? Come on, you've had your hand up for a while.
Guppy's rule is no clapping in the van.
I'll tell you what, I'll join in.
Fuck off.
Alright.
Now, so guys,
You'll have to swear.
of course we are.
Yeah. Oh.
Guys, this ain't going out on
He goes, oh shit. Sorry, are we allowed to say, oh
Actually,
shit?
shit is not a swear, mate. Come on.
Now, technically speaking, when the kids, well, they never said it, but if they did ever say it, would you say, oh, well done? Would you clap at that point? Or would you say, Saleh Tiamat,
Abe Sabash.
Shabas.
I'll probably laugh first and then put a straight face on and say, you can't say that word.
And then try to stop you laughing.
But I don't think I've ever seen you like with a straight face.
Just not that.
You always have that kind of smirk.
That one.
That cute little face, that kid in the candy shop.
You know, I see that with Bally's little one as well, Aria. And every time I see her, she's got that smirk like she's just beating up her daddy.
It's probably true. To be fair. But the Kia, she's not
Nobody
fighting,
always
she is.
late at shows.
Mate,
We're
she's
not,
not fighting.
we're not serious type of people, innit? We're just all about the fun and games.
Oh, you're saying all the right stuff on
You know what I
podcast,
mean?
mate.
You know what I mean?
Right, okay, guys. So episode 1, how are you guys feeling?
Nervous.
What are you nervous for?
I don't like being on the mic.
I'm the one who should be nervous.
Don't like being on camera. I don't like being on the mic. I hate my voice.
I'll tell you something. No one likes their own voice, right?
Hang on, Bally. Was you like a radio presenter like 15 years ago?
On a pirate radio station, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we
it's
don't
not radio,
mention
isn't it?
that. But not Bally, I actually think you got a good voice, and I think no one likes the sound of their own voice, right? Some people love the sound of their own voice.
Yeah, all right, Nick.
Oh,
But-
God.
But I think Bally. To be fair, Bally, remember that time that we did that documentary?
Oh, I hated that.
What do you mean?
Mate, I still probably sound like I got a flu.
No, that's just your voice
It's not
naturally.
even flu. You know, the people probably thinking, oh, Bajara Gopi's got COVID.
But Jara Gopi,
Someone actually made a comment on that documentary. Do you remember?
it's a family.
I'm trying to think who it was now. And they goes, oh, someone was watching it. Like the dad was watching it.
Huh.
And they was like, oh, Monday, Wolverhampton. And they goes, when Bally come and he goes, yeah, they're from Wolverhampton.
Bally, you do have a very, very strong
I
accent.
love my accent.
No, so do I.
Technically, Bally, you're not Wolverhampton. You're winning all.
Still a WV postcode.
No, but you know what? Saying
Yeah,
that.
but us Wolverhampton people don't like to class.
You're not Wolverhampton anymore either.
Yeah, but I was born and bred
Why
in
don't we just give
Wolverhampton.
our away address on national podcast
Yeah,
stream?
why not?
Yeah. So any gifts?
Any
please send to-
Saying that, you know what? Leamington is classed as a posh place or town or whatever it is. And when I first got married, she spoke posh and we speak like the way we do.
Technically, she used to sing.
Yeah, that's their accent. People in Leamington sing when they talk. Anyway, so long story short, she hated the fact that when we had kids, they spoke exactly like how the dad does. And it's a very, very strong Wolverhampton accent. And she hates the fact that...
Yeah, I think Amara's got a really strong accent.
Yeah, how old are you, Mara? I'm 5. 5? Yeah, and she used to say something else.
What do you think's going to happen? Obviously, they're going to have the go over.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Daddy, where am ya?
I love it. I mean,
Hello.
Ari's got a strong accent. I love it.
And we should encourage our children to, even kids not from Wolverhampton, they should all talk like they're from Wolves, because I actually believe Wolverhampton is the nicest accent in the whole of UK. Do you agree, boys?
100%.
All right, we're going to lose some followers tonight. Anyway, so I'm going to go straight into it, guys. Should we tell the people how we met?
Nick, yeah, I think when I met Nick, basically, I was.
Not me, you Wally.
I was gonna say I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah, so the guys listening or watching right
I
now.
was basically. It's my first birthday. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, me and Gopi are brothers, if you didn't know. And if you don't know, after 16, 17 years of USR, I don't know what
It's been 17 years.
2005?
2004 was a road show. When was the actual DJ? Nicky?
No, at USR, because that's when Bally came on board. At USR, we've been together
When did you start again? I can't remember now. 2001 was it?
2000.
Oh, it's got to be 20 years this year, Nick.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it was
No, sorry, 2000.
21 years.
Yeah, sorry.
21 years.
Someone didn't go to school.
Oh.
You could tell I always
But
undercharge people.
you know, back then, you know, when we used to do, obviously, bedroom DJing and software DJing, etc., we used to do those little mixtapes that we used to put online on this
Oh, yeah.
these forums. What was that forum called? Punjab something?
No, it wasn't that one.
It used to be called Pure Punjab. .cjb.net. Do you remember?
DJ Dipper remix.
DJ Dipper, APS, DJ Lion, you know, that kind of era.
Did you not reconnect with APS?
I did recently, yeah. We follow each other on Thingy now.
Oh, man.
But these are inspiration, you know, of growing up. And
Back in the day.
remember, fuck, what's that song called? Chum 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 chum.
Yeah.
Good hippie. And I mix that with what's that? That guy's beat that Trek one for
Do,
Zik.
do, do,
DJ
do,
Zik.
Trek.
Eh?
One for
Bro,
Trek.
I remember doing that one. We did all sorts of mad remixes.
You know, I actually remember designing the front cover. We had like
For Your Eyes Only.
For Your Eyes Only.
That
yeah.
was the
And we
name.
had headphones over some potato or something.
Something
stupid
daft like that. Then we released that other EP called 33 RPM. Not RPM.
Was it RPM?
Yeah, because remember, I started...
Oh, right. Okay.
I started on turntables, and back then the turntables were you can get belt driven or direct drive, and mine were belt driven. So as soon as your hand touched it, it'll jump, and you used to put a little 2p coin by the needle just to keep the weight down. And I remember we had this whole little setup at home, and it was just this random table, the old kitchen table.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the old kitchen table that we used to have?
And your DIY job.
Oh shit! So Bally, I don't even know. I don't even think you know the story.
He said Nick and DIY. I already know what you like in DIY. So this definitely ain't gonna come out
So
right.
Bally, basically, what we had was we had this kitchen table, yeah, where it's like a 4-seater, one of those small wooden
It
ones,
was one wooden ones, wasn't it?
and it was in our bedroom. And
No, Nick, it was in the kitchen.
it was not. It was in the kitchen originally, but when we disposed of it from the kitchen, it came into the bedroom, and we got rid of the benches and stools and stuff. And this was basically my decks, my turntables would sit here, and my mixer. And in the far corner, I carved out like with a saw, a little hole to put my wires through, just to make it, you know, cable
So,
tied.
Nick, sorry, did you just say hole?
So basically,
It wasn't a hole. It's like a triangle.
it was worse than a triangle. It was fucked. It was like all sorts of shapes in one. And I fucked it so bad that there's this little teddy bear. I don't know where we got it from. I glued, remember, I glued the teddy bear's stomach to that little section. So it kind of carved off the table
what?
nicely.
I'm pretty certain I got a photo of that, of them.
Yeah, you find-
I'm going to class it as a booth.
Yeah, we.
No, I'm going to class it as a custom booth.
Yeah, that's where we started, you know, boys. That's the started. And I had a whole little setup. We had the decks on one side. I had a PC on my right hand side, which had, remember, Fruit Loops
Yes.
and Reason and
Yeah.
Cubase and all that. I had all that on this side. Even though I didn't know how to use it, I used to mess about with it. And on this side was my collection of vinyls. So we had loads of vinyls. And I remember this is around the time that you went to India, got with Dad.
Yeah.
And the only two vinyls I had at this point was Destiny's Child, Survivor, and I think it was
Was it Ace Kong?
Ashik Tera, the whole EP. Sick album, Lambra Dinon, actually all these kind of tracks were on there, I think. Was it? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. And PR something. Nee, Ashik Tera.
Ashik, that's the main one. And then eventually I started buying drum and bass vinyls, and I started mixing Ashik Tera. Ashik Tera was the only Punjabi vinyl I had at this point until Gopi come back from India, and you bought Jatta there, which is where we got inspiration from, Takirat. And then you bought Muhammad Sadiq one as well, Jat Shabi.
Yeah,
The original Jat Shabi was on this Muhammad Sadiq vinyl. So we got a lot of inspiration from those vinyls if you think about it.
We still have them, yeah.
We
We're still
still-
framed in the office, actually.
Yeah, we've got Pujata there framed because our first album, Surinder Shinda was in the studio and we got him to sign. Remember that vinyl, the front cover?
Yeah.
But, bro, that's going back like 20 years?
Yeah.
21 years.
21 years.
Buddy, how do we meet?
You was it was in Wolves in the club. You was DJing. I was standing on top of a sofa playing goal.
I actually remember. It was City Bar.
Guys, can I leave this podcast, please?
it was City Bar
A
and
proper Bollywood style love story.
Yeah, we met on the sofa.
yeah, Bally. It used to be you and Mickey.
Yeah.
Big shout to our boy Mickey. Boom. Oh, by the way, guys, this podcast thing is new for us.
This sounds like a love triangle at the moment. Cause it used to be Bally and Mickey, and then you came in between them, Nick.
I did, and it was a nice little love story, really. Bally fancied me, I fancied Mickey, and Mickey just fancied food, and he still loves food. That geezer will go, like, he'll travel halfway through the country just to get good food.
What? If you tell him that we got food here now,
Yeah.
Well, no, we did have Gup.
Oh yeah, just
I've got
before you
video
munch.
of you.
Just before you munch.
okay,
your-
guys, let's be professional. Let's not talk.
Yes,
too much about
City
food.
Bar going back to 2003, 2004 maybe.
Yeah.
It would have been because I used to work at Cineworld then, because I used to finish my shift at Cineworld. I'd come straight to City Bar, DJ from 10:30, 11 all the way to 2, 3 o'clock. Is that time it used to lock off about 3 o'clock in the morning?
I don't think Bally gets a picture.
Hey.
Oh, it's a shit pun. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just about to say earlier, we got a new podcast machine and there's all sorts of sample buttons. So I might accidentally press the wrong button at the wrong time. But so far,
There's
2
a
out of 2.
wicked button here that Guppy would absolutely love, and it's the closest one to you at the bottom.
Oh yeah, there we go.
That's
There we go.
better.
Yeah, so Bally was playing door with Mickey standing on sofas inside this place. It's like a 3-story club.
Yeah,
and
it's tiny, man.
bro, remember,
It sounds like an amazing club, though.
nah, to be fair, go. It used to
was
be lit.
ramped. It
Remember
was
the tunes? Remember the tunes back in 2000 and like the RDB, Punjabi MCs,
Yo,
Yo,
Sanjay
you know
era.
what? You
DJ
just saying that,
Sanjay.
yeah. On the way here, all I've been listening to is that whole era of Bhangra Garage.
Yes. Bad
Gopi
boy.
Sandhu, G.I. Jot, you know.
Legal demo.
Oh, I know illegal demo.
Yeah.
Dekh Jawani, Dekh Jawani.
Yeah, all of that. I've just
Yo,
literally
that
been
was
listening
sick.
to all of that on the way here now.
To be fair, I saw the documentary on BBC quite recently where they're going back to that era, and it's a sick documentary. Real good.
Well, that came on Sunday. Was it on Sunday?
I think it's on iPlayer, yeah. I think it's on iPlayer. But
Yeah, I think I
I
listened to that. It was really good.
really enjoyed that because it took you back to that era. And that era, to be fair, saying that, guys, don't you reckon every era that's come out, I know we're going to have our favourites, but if you look at every era, going from, say, the B21 Darshan days, public demand, that kind of era legalized, to the one that came after the 2000s where like RDB were running the show, the Indie Secures came through, and the Gopi Sandhus and DJ Sanjay, etc. I mean, DJ Sanjay's track Dusja still gets played every show regardless.
You know, you say that, but I think a lot of the tracks from the old era still gets played now.
Obviously with time and stuff, like if it's like classic, they get played towards the end of the party.
Yeah.
Dusja is like an opener or one of the first
it's
couple of
true.
tracks in. And so that was that era. Then we got the whole Miss Pooja duet era with like Shirate, Patrol, CT, Desi Jat. Remember that kind of era? And it
That
just-
coming just after.
Yeah.
Oh, man, she probably had like 1,000 songs released in like a month.
she was
Things like
killing.
water, phone, table.
Yeah, to
I'm
be
sure
fair,
she did it all.
Maz was selling the Jameen in India just to do like a duet with her. And that song came and went. Some actually like Patrol. If you think of that geezer, wasn't it? Preet Harpal? No, it was a Preet Harpal. I forgot his name now. But basically, he had some bangers at that point and that era.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
then
he did.
that faded out. Then what was the era after that? Was it back to UK Bhangra
I
music?
think it was UK Bhangra, wasn't
Like
it?
the PBNs came about. And
I think it was
these
like, yeah,
Ground
PBM,
Shaker
Punjabi,
and all that
MC.
sort of
these kind of songs start
Darty
bang.
Hodi and all that started coming out. weren't it?
Jitti Nibaliye,
Yeah.
Captain Bhangra.
and USR.
Yeah, I see the Bhajan. We came in 2007. In fact, you know what, guys? We should
No,
do
it's round about the same time.
2007. Do you know what we should do,
2007.
guys? We should actually talk about, do a whole podcast on our tracks and the stories and the history behind it.
Mate, that's going to be like a trilogy, that is. The amount of stories we got attached to,
Mate,
like...
that, to be fair, you know, like...
I think that's just the first release on its own. Just the album.
But you know, okay, if I was to ask you, what's your favourite USR song ever released?
Well, what about the songs that haven't been released yet?
We'll do a 4th podcast on that, guys. But Bally, what's your favourite song?
It actually is a song that hasn't been released yet.
Really?
Yeah,
I know you're going to say Chadariya.
100%.
What's yours?
I would say Took It Out. Not because I'm in the video, you know, I'm just there to like kind of represent my brand, but
Salah.
I think everything about it, I think that was, to me, a piece of art.
I actually believe that song is a piece of art, and you can blow your own trumpet, you know, why not? Because the track was a banger. It hit #1 on the BBC network, which really doesn't mean much, but back then,
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit better than it is now. And I think what determines success of a song, in my opinion, is the feedback. people sharing it.
But
People.
that track itself took what 2 years to make.
Yeah, that's only because we kind of started, stopped.
No, like we do every day, remember?
No, but we did stuff like the violins from India, Bombay,
Yeah,
Mumbai. They call it
yeah.
nowadays.
No, but we had
and they have been calling it for a long time as well.
No, but we had violinists from the UK as well to play on top.
Oh, Kiki Chen, yeah, of
Kiki
course,
Chen,
yeah.
yeah.
She smashed. Where's she gone? She's gone AWOL.
She's gone back to China.
No, she wasn't from China. She's from
Taiwan,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
she's from Taiwan.
Oh, I thought it was China.
But now what we'll do though, guys, we'll do a whole podcast dedicated to our releases and the whole story behind how we started the production to manufacture, distribution, the song each time, a bit of a memory connected to. Because look, bear in mind, look, your song.
Can we also include the time that the van broke down as well?
We'll talk about it all, bro. You know, no filter, we'll drop it all. But like you're saying, your favorite song is Tuck It Out. My favorite song is Tuck It Out. But I've had messages saying my favorite song of you guys is Yard Electric, and that would probably be bottom of my league in terms of my favorite songs.
Man, you know what? Yard is actually a banger, to be fair.
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's a good tune, and the video is lit as well. Like, you know, it's real good. Who was it? Vince Stormfield. Big shout out to my boy Vince. Boom. But yeah, we'll do a whole podcast. You know, obviously for the tracks and stuff. Let's go back to USR and obviously how we started. So obviously, Bally, we met, and then I approached you and said, "Look, Bally, obviously you play Dole. You're good at what you do. Let's form a little fucking group." And at this point, we didn't have a name, and so we said, "Look, we're going to start it up. What's your force?" And you was game for it straight away. There was no kind of hesitation or nothing. You was pretty much game for it. And
I don't think I was in the picture at this time.
No.
well,
We hadn't
to be
met
fair,
yet.
no.
I was too busy doing paintings, wasn't I?
Yeah, something like that. But no, you was always in the picture. But as a
Or drawing on
forefront,
the wall.
as a forefront of USR is myself, Bicky and Raman. And obviously them two came out. They were even on the front of the mix CDs that we used to
They were all like from. It started from uni days.
school, man.
Was it school
This
days?
is school
Yeah,
days,
yeah.
man. Big up Pentyford High School, Wolverhampton.
Yeah, that mixtape. Do you remember that
Mixtape, yeah.
mixtape? I still got it in my van.
Bro, that mixtape, you remember?
The one
'Cause
where like 250 plus CDs are handwritten.
You know, do we still have the front cover for that?
Bally,
You know,
and
I
the rest.
can't find it, man.
You know, amount of media we could like get
I
from the
cannot
back.
find that cover.
No,
I
some
just
people
found the
actually send it
CD.
back. They take a picture and send it to me on stories, like as a snap and stuff, and it takes you back. It's sick.
You know
But-
what? I'll tell you what. You know, whatever platform we upload this onto,
Yeah,
in the comments, let's upload like whatever we're talking about. You know, let's get the picture for this.
yeah. We'll put it on the screen when you're editing, and we'll whack it on the screen. You know
And,
what?
and the booth, that first booth, custom.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to see
I
that,
wanna-
bro.
I want to see
I want to
that.
see that teddy bear stuck to the
I don't know
corner.
if I want to see that, but so basically, so we approached Bally at this point, and you was game. Remember Sanj and Jussa and those two girls? I forgot their names
Oh,
now.
yeah,
and we said
yeah,
let's form
yeah,
USR dancers. Like we started climbing the ladder, getting to the top ladder before we even got to the first one of this
I
stage.
think we spent too much time in like DC pubs in it, watching all the dancers.
You was go, you was mate. I got.
Yeah, let's get our own dancers.
To be fair, going back to Jat Shabby, if we hadn't gone to British Desi Queen that night,
yeah, that was
we would have
double
recorded it. But let's go back to that in the next podcast.
I remember that.
So so at this point is me, Bicky and Raman doing USR. Bally, Mickey jumped on board. The dancers never really took off because there was no demand for it really, and it's just
Nah,
us
not
guys.
back then.
Us guys
I
just
think only you demanded them.
yeah, I know. I think when you get too chuck when you're starting to think, because my vision's always been long term, and I just want to do everything today and just get everything. You know, you call me Jezza for a reason, right?
How long's that 10-year album going, by the way?
Yeah, it's getting there. We're going to release on the 20th year anniversary. But yeah, so that's the starting of USR. The name USR, good. Do you remember how we started?
I vaguely remember. I do remember thinking, what the hell is this? Unique Sounds Roadshow.
Unique Sounds Roadshow, yeah. And do you remember he chose it?
But it was Bicky's brother, wasn't it?
Was it? I think it was. Nah, yeah, maybe. Anyway, so someone from somewhere else chose the name, but
We just stuck with it, don't have it?
we have stuck with it. And I remember at the starting, people used to say to me, what you know, why Unique Sounds Roger? What's unique about you guys? And to be fair, at that point, we had no.
Don't say it, don't say it.
We had no answers.
Beep.
We had no answers, mate. What makes you so unique?
Sounds a bit like when you go trick or treat and you go trick or treat, they go trick. Like, what do I do?
If that's me, I'll do a headstand. But yeah, so we never really knew what. It's just a name in it at that point.
Yeah, I think it just came about.
You remember our first flying up? We had an ironing board. I put the decks on there.
Oh,
And I pretended to scratch on there. And
All my days.
and
yes.
Hamish, Win Media, big shout out to Win Media.
Well, we're media. That's still our media partners
Media
now.
partners, yeah, they do all our branding. This is my shit. Anyway, so this is going back days now, yeah, like literally 15, 17 years. And so he took a picture of me and he put it on this front cover, this blue little
Yeah, I
card.
remember now. I remember.
And there's a Mr. Singh playing Dole, and we promoted Dole Lee's. And
Yeah,
we,
yeah.
Bally, we didn't even get your face in it. We got this old saying from India saying, "Bale, bale, 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 bale."
You had the.
Oh, you
you
sure
had
that
the,
was a Bally anyway?
You had the flamethrowers on there.
Yeah, we did.
You
Yeah.
had everything in the little square boxes.
And if anyone finds that card today, going back to 2005, sorry, it's still the same 07840. My telephone
Is it
number
still the same
it's still
number?
Yeah, I haven't changed the number since.
Mad.
And yeah, so that was literally the starting of USR. No, well, Unique Sounds Roadshow. We started fading at Unique Sounds Roadshow because it became a bit of a freaking story. The name became quite long. And we abbreviated to USR, which obviously has been going for a long time now, innit? But
I think it's just stuck with us now, hasn't it?
yeah, but do you remember the first party we ever did then?
First wedding or first party?
Party. We didn't do weddings until after. So the first party that we did.
It's a good question, actually. I don't think I was even involved in this, was I?
You know, back in 2005, I remember we used to have, no one had mobile phones and calendars and sync with Exchange and stuff. It was Black Diary, yeah? And I remember our diary was so rammed. And I'm not just saying it just to give it bump. We've always been busy, don't get me wrong. But back then, you was busy doing these £30 gigs, £100 joggles, £150, £200 anniversary party,
I
etc.
remember a lot of charity gigs as well.
We did a lot of charity events and stuff. But to be fair, we still do those.
We
And
still do, yeah.
charities were obviously very close to our home and stuff. And we just obviously like doing save on stuff. But back then, you know, the freebies, the club gigs, the smaller sort of parties, because our rig wasn't massive. In fact, saying that, our rig wasn't massive. Remember the first wedding we ever did? Sheffield. But you remember this one?
Oh my days.
Yeah? And you remember the rig that we had?
But mate, forget the rig. Do you remember the van we had?
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. Oh my. This was the worst
A
gig for
Vauxhall
me.
combo van.
Yeah, this was the worst gig for me on so many different levels.
I know.
Like, you don't
Mate,
understand.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Not even painters have this van to keep the bloody paint tubs in.
I know. I'm
No,
Ballying.
the painters have actually got bigger vans to put the paint tubs in, but you cram me in the back of a combo on top of the speakers with Mickey
Yeah.
And the toll times two.
and the tool and the two doors.
Well, at least we put the trussing on the roof rack.
No, we didn't.
We did.
I think that was on top of me.
I go, what's that mark on your head?
Actually, go. Forget the logistics. Remember the starting where you left the key in there? We hired the van and you left the key in there.
Oh, no, yeah.
So basically,
you remember how open
Bally,
it got,
you
didn't
probably
you?
don't know
I won't
this
even
story.
know this now.
Yeah, so
this is
basically,
news to me.
So basically, we hired the van, right, from a local company, Wolves, right, and we loaded our stuff before we came to pick you guys up, and Gopi left the key for the van inside the van
Whoa,
Right.
whoa. What are you blaming me for?
because it was me, and then only the other one other person, which is you. So long story short, we've got the rig, which was tiny anyway, but it's in the back of the van. We had no way of driving this van, and we had a gig to get to it in Sheffield, right? Near Sheffield United, there's a community centre, a big sports hall actually.
Yeah.
And it was there. And so we still had trek to do from Wolverhampton. So we obviously fucking shitting ourselves. I drove to the hire company
to find a spare key.
to get the spare key and go up. You want to tell Bally?
I basically opened it with my house key.
I swear to God, with the house key,
You managed to open up the back of the van.
Back of the van.
yeah, and the key was right there. Screaming,
literally,
bitch, why you
yeah.
left me here?
And I saw Nicku's fingerprints all over it.
Whatever. Anyway, that's the starting of the story. This is actually decent, okayish.
Let's not forget that it didn't have a turbo in there, so it's like a normal diesel injection. So
Yeah.
go to Sheffield, you go past that house that's like in the middle of the motorway,
Yep, towards
uphill,
Halifax.
going
Yeah.
uphill. It was a struggle. A lot of black smoke in the back.
That's his Bally, man.
Was that Bally?
That's his Bally, man. Bally tu karda sega. Anyway, so we got to the gig. We got to the gig.
That
And
chili pizza had the night before.
Bally, you remember that one song from that gig?
How can I forget?
You want to sing it for us?
I don't want to sing it for you, no.
So-
I think I'm still sick and tired of that same song.
Aman hai dil nahi lagda tere bina. No, tere bina. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, tere bina.
For those cars.
That's a fucking banger. That's a monster tune. Still
was.
is. It's a sick tune.
It still is.
It was.
Yeah.
They killed it for me. Not gonna lie. Absolutely killed it for me. Did you came to the house, yeah?
No, I was in the van. Why am I going to jump out watch you guys play Toll? I'll sit in the van waiting for you guys to come back.
Fair point. Just in case Gopi locked the keys back in the back again. Yeah, after playing at the house, man, every single car, about 15, 20 cars, every time one car started, that song. Second car started, same song. Third car started, same song again.
Yeah.
What happened when we got to the venue, Nick?
I'm playing it.
You're playing it, and I'm like, what?
Because I've been
the
told
hell?
to play it over and over again.
And then as soon as it finished, I don't think you even got 30 seconds into the next track. Someone come over, goes, put that song back on.
I know, it's a big tune. But remember our speakers, though, that place was huge.
Yeah.
And speaker part of this here, because our speakers, the reach wasn't there. Because bear in mind, we're kids with this little rig that we bought off, what's his name, Dabs. Remember Dabs?
Yeah.
Big up Dabs. Anyway, so basically we bought the sound system because there was a chance I can't see DJ kariye. And anyway, so we're doing the DJ. The place is rammed. It's a Muslim wedding, so there's a lot of background music to begin with, and so that kind of saved our bacon. But then when the party started, it's a bit difficult for us. But anyway, remember that geezer, the one that booked us, that dirty bastard.
The one that we're still waiting for payment.
My days.
Yeah. So
Yes.
if you listen to this podcast or you're watching it, I don't really swear at anybody because I'm a lover of all. But this guy, the he hasn't paid us for that gig. Basically, he promised, bounced checks, etc., etc. Turned his phone off. We even went. Remember when we went via court?
Went through court, yeah, but he kept moving.
He kept moving house, yeah. So this little dirty bastard. If you listen to this, I don't know what to say to you. To be fair, I don't want the money, but
Just call him a dirty bastard.
I think I have a few times, but yeah, that's not on. You shouldn't cheat anyone from the haq dikamai. You know what I mean? We did a lot of struggles to get there. Anyway, so long story short, that was our first
Especially
wedding.
in a combo van.
Yeah, in a combo van. But then, all that stuff was hired, and we still had a karja pani and all the rest of it. And when someone does work for you, pay the geezer in it at the end of the day. And
But it's
a learning curve.
It's a learning curve, isn't it?
it's definitely a learning curve.
We
Definitely.
learned not to put Bally in the back.
I don't think we DJed in Sheffield since.
I don't know if we actually
No, we have. That place in the centre. What's it called? I forgot the name now. But
Shall I tell you what made that day even worse?
huh.
So not only did we not get payment, but then when we jumped back in the van, we turned the van on and put BBC Network on, and that same fucking
That song's
was
gonna
playing
haunt him.
on the radio as well.
That song's gonna haunt Bally forever. But that obviously that's our first wedding. And bear in mind, guys, we wasn't meant to do weddings. We said we was going to stick to small parties. Remember, I did a documentary when I did that India tour. Remember at the start of it, I said Gopi said we're going to stick to small parties. But after the release of Jat Shabbi and all the rest of it, we started getting good weddings. You know what I mean, up and down the country.
Yeah, definitely.
And it kind of grew from there, really, huh? And if you look at the evolution of
But to
USR,
be fair, we never expected Jat Shabbi to be as big either, wasn't it? That's just like a little.
but if you look at it go up, that song,
It was almost like a personal project more than anything.
but that song banged. To be fair, it banged.
Then again,
everyone.
so were the other songs, weren't they, Bally?
Yep.
Before you kind of forced us. But that'll be in a different podcast.
Yeah, but if you talk about the evolution of USR, from where we were, right, in hired out vans and getting all these little experiences where we're being skanked and having speakers that can't even speak properly, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
to what we do, the level of weddings that we do now in terms of, and again, we're not blowing our trumpet, but it just shows that sort of the journey of a few lads that were playing Dole and Salford in clubs. You know what I mean? To what we do now. And to be fair, we should be proud, man. We should fucking clap our hands to this, man. We should.
Guys, no clapping, please.
No, but look, at the end of the day, look, if you work hard for it, you should be proud, man. You should be look back and think, you know what,
Yeah,
we
man.
smashed it. If it's given you on a plate, fair play to you because you had that thing.
So I'm just trying to think, how did I get kind of involved in this?
Van driver.
We needed a sober driver.
To be fair, God, you was always part of it in the background.
Was I?
Yeah.
I can't remember the first couple of gigs. I remember coming to do a few cabling and all that because I am Dara Singh.
Yeah, anyone listening, once again, Bally is at the forefront because his face is known and he plays Dole and obviously he's very social with people. I'm obviously on the decks and the mic and people can hear my voice and see my face. But Gopi, that guy, and he's probably the best looking out of us. He's hidden away behind speakers with his green eyes, hiding away, pressing the buttons that make everything look good, play good, sound good, lights.
No, I was just in the back kind of posing and doing the Mugod pose.
Oh God, fires. Yeah, that works as well. That works, man. That works. apart from that time in where was it? Netherlands or Germany, where the geezer wanted to bang Gopi out.
Amsterdam.
Because
Amsterdam.
he wanted 10,000 songs in 1 minute.
No.
And I'm told it's like budgie, like everyone's eating. Sit down.
Yeah, we slowed it down for main course. He goes, Paji, heck, go. Make a look, this Paji can lay, and this bejo. And then he wouldn't listen and Gopi goes, look, Paji, seriously, started begging and roti khao. Tusi na, apa 15-20 minutes start kar dena.
Tera mukka marna.
And he couldn't even speak. He couldn't even speak Punjabi properly. Main tere mukka mar. But anyway, so that was obviously a bad memory. That wasn't nice because that never happens to us.
I don't think it was a bad memory. I think you always got to get that. And we still do get that. I mean, a lot of people.
How often has anything like that ever happened to us?
Yeah, I understand that, but that's comes with experience, isn't it? We know how to kind of talk to people. We know how to handle people and kind of communicate with them.
Yeah,
and I think that's 100%. An important factor. Like for any young kids that want to get into this game as well. You're not
attitudes
just,
are key.
You're not just a DJ. You have to learn how to kind of deal with people, deal with shit, basically.
To be fair, I think you dealt with it quite good. In all fairness,
yeah.
Gotta fuck off, hold on.
No, I'll never say that. I'll probably say Uncle G to say.
As long as you say pussy, yeah, mom and dad are happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Pussy ke, that's
was it Uncle G or was it Paji?
Or Paji, uncle, whatever he was. But sometimes you have to deal with bad people because, look, Sharab takes over certain people and they shouldn't do it because it's somebody else's big day. But, you have to know how to handle all sorts of people. You might get annoying people that come over throughout the whole party. You might get people that Sharab pick and a share bunch and then you might get, I'm not just saying men, women can be semi-annoying as well. You could be playing the biggest banger and some auntie might come over to you and say, and you're like, mate, you know what I mean? So
things like that you can actually deal with.
It's still dealing. It's just still dealing with
it's people who get aggressive that you just need to kind of learn how to kind of control them verbally.
Yeah. But
do you remember that time when that geezer come on stage and started trying to pulling out the wires out the amps?
Oh, he wanted Up and Up Punjab of it, like second song in.
Yeah, do you remember?
Yeah, that's when we first started. That was a jogger party in Darlaston or something. Remember? It was just...
Yeah, that's not Wolverhampton, by the way.
We don't do that rules. But luckily for us, we don't get much of that. Like, every gig, like, we've been going 17 years, and we've been banging out X amount of shows every year. And how many friends have we made out of this game? I'm not just saying, like, industry people. I'm on about guests that we see frequent parties. They become family, you know what I mean? They know our names.
How many grooms have you, like, played football with?
Mate, I can make friends with a brick wall, literally. So,
but kind of brick wall, like pass a good ball to you.
Probably better than you, Gopi.
That's a low blow, man. I know I broke my leg, but
yeah, we're not going to talk about the time that you broke your memory. That's a bad memory. Talk about memories, guys. What is your favorite memory of USR then?
Ooh, I'm gonna say first destination wedding.
First destination wedding, Dubai.
Was that Dubai?
No. Well, that's with Bally, as...
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
I obviously went to India in 2006, wasn't it?
Okay, show off.
It was 6, innit? When did Dil Apna Punjabi come out?
Don't know, I don't care, wasn't there?
It was 2006. Remember that song, Gabru Juwan Munde Pona Boling? That song.
That whole album was awesome.
The album was sick, but in India, they just wanted that one on Tin Rang. Remember Tin Rang? That's a banger. That still is a banger, to be fair. But in India,
there's all bangers, aren't they, on that album? Who was it?
Sonia. Remember that one? The love song. That's like a first dance at weddings. I promise I'm not going to sing again on this podcast. I think this is the third time I've done that. But yeah, so that's obviously me aside, because obviously we've done a lot of club gigs abroad as well. But as you saw, the first official one was up in did we not do India before Dubai?
I don't think Bally
no.
was with us.
Dubai.
I think as a collective as USR, Dubai was the first one for us.
That was 2014, yeah, I think. 2013 or 2014. But that's a big one. That's at the Atlantis. One of the biggest
13 or 14, yeah.
Yeah, that's
well, to be fair, can you even get a small venue in Dubai?
To be fair, how many times have we done Dubai? About 6-7 times?
They say like Darlaston or Willenhall.
Leave Willenhall alone.
But you're not saying that, Gob.
Love you, Bally.
In Dubai, like we've done the Burj Al Arab, which is 7-star. We've done up in Atlantis, which is obviously 5-star, and all the rest of them that we've done. But don't you think that the other ones that maybe people don't necessarily know about? Don't you think they were like literally 5, 6, 7-star as well?
They were, Nick. They were
literally.
Don't forget, even the joggles that we did in Dubai, that was 5-star.
That's Rixos. That's branded. That's very contemporary on the Jumeirah beach.
I think the only last star is like when we went out with our budget.
What is that?
I don't know, some kebab place that played like bungalow music in the back.
The Irish pub, man. The Irish pub.
Oh, you can't beat the Irish pub, mate. You can't beat it. Go, what's your favourite memory?
You know, there's too many, isn't there?
Like, you have to name one, literally, and you got 5 seconds. Putting you on
4
the spot.
seconds.
That's
3
coming down to
seconds.
2.
You're done. Buzz him out.
You don't get to talk now, Gob.
You
You
know,
don't.
no, well, you guys keep talking. I'm just gonna think in the background.
I think my favourite memory was the time that we hit number 1 with Tuck It Out. In saying that, when we hit number 1 with Breathe Good as well, because remember the response that we had in that venue.
Yeah.
Dunstall race. Yeah, Dunstall race course. I slowed it down for the main course. Yeah, slowed down for the main course. Went outside. Susie Mann, she was a presenter on the top 40 back then.
Yes, we've done the interview in the.
Yeah. So she you know, like when she goes, you know, you come top 2. Is it going to be? Was it Nafis back then? Was it Nafis? I think it was Nafis.
Yes,
you know?
I think it was.
Yeah, because Tuck It Out was a Hindi song. I can't remember which one it was, but it was a banger, like W or something like that.
Yeah,
Something massive.
Gully, I think.
I think it was Gulling actually. So I was about to sing it.
I'm a Bollywood fan, by the way.
Yeah. So
It was that one.
so,
It wasn't it?
basically,
They had an acoustic version as well.
they were both very good though. To be fair,
Yeah. What you talk about the acoustic version or Tuck It Out and Bollywood?
everything. So basically, so I went outside and she goes, "Okay, it's time to decide. Not decide. Kind of let the the listeners know what's number 1 for the week." And when she shouted, "Breathe Good," I was fucking gassed. I was so excited. I just, like, when you're on radio, you have to act professional and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
I was like,
I've actually got a video of that as well.
of the response.
I think I captured everything, haven't I?
What? You was in outside? I ran inside to you guys. Remember when we were running around the horses?
No.
We was all outside, but I think you and Gut were together.
No, I think you left me on the decks because you went outside.
Is Roti? I left the background music running.
Exactly.
No, I think I had to do a bit of acting.
I know I
didn't
was outside because you've shouted over and told me.
Yeah.
I think I've done a lap around Dunstall race course like, with the horses and that, yeah, and then ran inside.
To be fair, that feeling, the goosebumps, like
Yeah.
I'm actually semi-feeling right now. It's unreal. That's real.
There's also, man.
Back then you couldn't. It's not like now, like when you hit number 1 for like a week because you bought your own track. Back then, it's legitimate people. I know people are still illegally downloading stuff, but back then it was a vibe because people actually supported to a certain extent. It wasn't quite what it was back in the 90s or the 2000s, but it was still there somewhat, But so we ran inside, and remember on the mic when I announced it before I played Breathe Good, it goes, "Guys, guess what? We've hit number 1." In fact, go get that clip out and play it at the back of what I'm about to say now. Anyway, so
That's how we opened up the second half.
yeah, we did, and I remember the whole crowd. The whole crowd were cheering like they fucking.
I'm pretty sure the bride was Sangira as well, was it she?
Yeah, she was.
She was, yeah.
She was, and in the track it had something about Sangiras.
Yeah,
Remember?
that's the Yada Singera,
We
yeah.
played it.
But I think it's all like the Sandus and the Sada video family.
Oh.
Big up Sada.
It was Matthias' son's wedding.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly. So big up to you as well, Bally.
Cheers, Bally. Thanks for getting that gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
But so basically, if you look at that as a story, it's incredible because we can actually say when we're older, our kids are probably going to give a shit. Yeah, how like back in the day, say you sit on your nonna's lap and they tell you stories of how what they did as a kid. I think in the future they're going to give a fuck. What I mean? That's
What am I telling my kids? Like, oh yeah, your daddy was in the music video with another lady.
Remember, Amara used to call that girl in the video. She just called her Thai. And the real Thai was like, "No, I'm your Thai." She's like, "No, Thai." No, she called, and you was in the magazine, that front cover, the one that we do was Sunny.
Well, that's me, you, and when we kind of left Bally out.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
we don't need to bring that up right now.
that'll be another podcast.
A whole hour dedicated to Ducky.
You needed a whole magazine to fit you in.
I'm sure there's a sad tone here, buddy. One of these buttons. I'm gonna press this one. It ain't that one. Clearly, it ain't that one. There's this one here.
One below.
This one here. It ain't that one either. Anyway, so I'm gonna stop pressing the buttons. I'm gonna press one more actually. That's kind of sad. In a happy beat.
That was really
Anyway,
sad.
Sound like Super Mario when he got one of them coins.
favorite memory is very
Or
similar to what's your biggest achievement as a single person. Forget the group as a whole. As a single bunda, what's your biggest achievement that you feel you've done in the last 15, 17 years?
Through USR.
Silence. The
Through
silence.
USR.
Yeah.
That's a really difficult question because I mean, not just with like USR, like, you know, everyone got their own personal achievements as well. But
Yeah.
it's not just once or twice. It's like, you know, you're achieving, you're learning something new every day. I'm getting a bit too soft.
Who the fuck is this soppy git?
I found out when you got your own personal achievements.
What is that shit? Horn
Did
making
you realise my arm just went up? I was like, woo.
Oi, Homer Simpson with the bonky clapping. Buddy, what's your biggest achievement in the last 17?
Biggest achievement. I'm gonna probably say like
Probably battering that sausage.
By the way, guys, Harlow Lane GP, big shout out to Harlow Lane.
what a thing, just a random.
I know, Gopi's always thinking food, but basically, if you didn't know, Bally's got a fish and chip shop in Coventry, Harlow Lane. Make sure you guys check it out. Mention USR, you get free food. I'm joking.
Yeah,
Bally, don't look at me like that.
I did tell Bally to bring like some chips and some curry sauce because this guy's curry sauce is probably the best curry sauce you'll ever have. And you know what, thinking of it now.
Stop talking about the food. Go.
You've just had 8 slices of pizza and you're still thinking about food.
Hang on, no, I haven't.
Okay, Bally.
Biggest achievement as part of USR today, I'll probably say where we are today.
I think that's a perfect answer.
I think that's like an easy answer.
Yeah, but then at least he said something
Ooh.
about battering a sausage. What the fuck was all that about?
He just got to talking about
I
food.
think it's a great what you call
No,
it.
genuinely, I think where we are today. 100%.
I think. Do you remember 2014 when Rain was born, where we almost literally not closed or shut down USR, but we wanted to slow it down massively purely because of the fact that.
Yeah, the plan was to slow it down, but what happened?
So basically, long story short, guys, it's a bank holiday weekend, and my son, he's born in August. So we just finished. I think it's Diamond. We finished up at, and my mum rang me.
That's a local venue in Wolverhampton, by the way.
Yeah, it was a local venue. I think it's shut down now. So I don't think, I know it's shut down. So basically what happened was we finished the daytime party and we had another one in the evening. And my mum rang. She goes, Hannah John, just come home because yeah, we got relatives over to see the baby and stuff. You know, they come over and all that kind of stuff. So I went home and I remember saying hi to the rest, the relatives. I can't remember who it was. But anyway, on the way out, my daughter followed me. Amara followed me to the front doorstep. And she had this face on her like, do you want to just come? Are you going again? And she like wanted to be around me, and that's quite sad because bear in mind, Amara's my firstborn. You've obviously got Sienna, you got Zora. Imagine them following you to the front doorstep, almost like "Don't go, Daddy." And I felt so sad. And even you, Gopi, I remember in the van, we was both really teared up, kind of thing. And we sit in the van, and I said to Gopi, he goes, "Fuck this! What are we doing, Gopi? You know, what's the point?" Or like, you know, like kind of you get a little bit more sentimental.
You start to reflect on life, don't you?
Yeah, because look, that's a big moment. That's horrible. You don't want your kids to be ever be sad, but we're making them sad. Even though we're working and we're building for their future, right? But Firby and I was sitting in the van. I was like, "Go, you know, fuck this." Gopi goes, "Look, let's not sack it off. Let's just slow it down. Let's charge a little bit more money, but just take less work on."
I remember that conversation as well.
I still remember that time.
What we'll do, we just do like 10 weddings a year, guys. It'd just be amazing. Just proper exclusive weddings. That's all we'll do.
So, did 10 in a week.
I've never sounded like that ever, Bally. But
No, I'm doing Gopi, by the way.
oh, okay.
Nick's puppy's eyes.
But you know what? What happened at the back of that was just 2014, guys. This is the year. This is the turning point for USR because we started banging loads of destination weddings. Yeah, remember? Well, what's to remember? You've been on most of them with me, but like what we done 25, 30 destination weddings. That's a lot of gigs, you know, abroad. A lot of international gigs, and these are good places like Thailand. In fact, we'll do another podcast dedicated to destination weddings. Yeah, I think that's a whole episode.
That's gonna be like another trilogy.
To be fair, you know, yesterday I put up a story on my Instagram about, remember that guy when I'm taking a selfie and he's talking about the toilet. He looks like,
mate, Nick, you're the worst person to go on an airplane.
mate,
Nah,
do you know,
it's the best.
Gita, you know how many messages, I had about that, and that I keep recycling that video every year when it comes up on my stories. I think it happened around this time. And bro, on a plane,
It's a classic.
It's the best fucking band on a plane. Anyway,
What plane was it? Air India.
let's do this. Let's do another podcast. Yeah, we'll hook up and we'll do a podcast and let people know destination weddings because we've done a lot of weddings here abroad, and every wedding has its own story, and we've been to some sick places. Yeah, sick places, and it always starts with that plane journey or that car journey if we're going to like local to like Italy or up in Netherlands or Germany and stuff. But Like, the Thailand and the Dubai and the India and the Santorinis and stuff. The amount of banter we've had. But we'll do a whole podcast with that one. But yeah, so going back to almost closing, but then that was a turning point because Destination Wedding kicked off big time because we was out a couple of times, 3-4 times a year, or whatever it was. The songs were hitting number 1 and we was doing bits with that as well. And the whole direction of USR changed when we started changing our setup, our package. Wasn't your standard black job the job. It started turning this white, crisp, clean, very elegant setup. And I would actually put my hands up and say we were the first people, definitely in the Midlands, to bring that white setup to the level that we have. Remember the Bally, the Prestige setup, the one with the little fingers, the bars and the and that really changed.
Was that was 14, yeah? Was it 15, 14?
I can't remember the year, but
we was there all week kind of setting out, was it?
I remember, yeah.
Cut
Was it
all
like
up.
Monday, Tuesday?
Go to B&Q, get the foot there.
Tuesday we went and we bought that really expensive cuppa from the market, that crushed velvet kind of stuff, and wrapped it with the staples and stuff. But you got to remember people walking in. Back then it was Snapchat, and when they were walking with their phones ready, and we was going viral. And I remember putting it on Facebook, and fair play to all my DJs out there. They were rating that setup on the Facebook page. When I put it up on my Facebook, everyone was saying, yo, that's the best white setup I've ever seen. This is the best setup. And when you hear DJ say that kind of stuff, that's lit, and that's real support. So big shout to all my DJs. And so from there, we pretty much changed our direction, and we've never really looked back. And to be fair,
it's been busy.
And as we start to come to a close on this podcast, the growth of USR, we always said one thing, and that was we're always going to keep it us guys, just our team. And we used to give any second, when we were busy, which was most of the time, we should dish it out to other DJs and stuff that we're friends within the industry, and we know that they're going to do a good job. But then if you look at it, we never actually wanted to grow the team, did we?
No.
And that's purely...
you guys did. I didn't.
There's two ways of looking at this, Bally. Like, we want to, because growing a brand is amazing.
Yeah, we did and we didn't. I think everything's got its pros and cons, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, obviously, the biggest thing for me, like you guys know anyway, was purely, it's taken 15 odd years to get to where we was at that particular point.
Yes.
And then taking on another DJ as part of the USR team, coming in, could potentially just do one mistake at one show and tarnish the whole reputation.
Absolutely.
And I was just like, you know what? I think we've worked way too
and that's a big comment
for that to happen.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why. I remember I said, I don't want to take that risk on it. But if we do, it's got to be people that we know that's going to do the bang on job each and every time.
But look at the criteria that we picked.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously leading on to where you're going with this now as well. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Bally, as long as you're happy, then everyone's happy.
We're happy. Yeah. Honestly, that's always been our motto. Remember Lenny the Lion?
Get on earlier, man.
Yeah,
Lenny, man. Poor Lenny.
We'll talk about Lenny next time. But yeah, talk about
is that like its own podcast as well?
I think that's a podcast with it. So I'll just sit there, just listen to sad songs, man. Remember Lenny the Lion.
Oh, bloody hell.
But so guys...
Maybe watch The Lion King.
Yeah, that's true as well. So guys, so we talked about growth, and now naturally we're growing. So we put out some PR material out there, and we've introduced some DJs, etc. So I think we've obviously talked about our reluctancy. Is that right? We're reluctant to take on DJs, but now that we took that step because they hit the criteria of being good at what they do, they need to be good people. They need to have the communication. They need to have the banter. They need to be able to do what we do, basically just mimic what we're doing and have been doing for a long time. But I think in the next podcast, let's bring these boys on and get some introductions on, so people can hear them, they can see them. I think
that's it. They're part of the team for a reason, and they've done more than a handful of shows for us.
Yeah.
As covering for USR, for us to actually know that, it's not just a one-off. They've done a banging show.
Yeah.
They've done like 5, 10, 15 shows, whatever it may be, and it's always been consistent with these guys.
And that's before signing.
Yeah, no, 100% before signing.
Yeah, they were doing international. One of them went to Dubai for us at one point as well.
Yes,
and that's a big responsibility. Because I'm not going to blow our own trumpet, but when you're representing a brand that's worked so fucking damn hard for so many years, and you do one fuck up, boom, you could do 100 good events a year, but people will always remember that one bad one. So these guys repped it, and I remember the feedback we've got from this grim. It was just phenomenal. These guys just turned the place upside down. It's lit. the boy was on fire that night. So that's a big thing. Anyway, so we'll talk about this with the boys on the next episode. But how do you think tonight went, lads?
Actually went all right, to be fair.
You guys were nervous, remember, Bally, at the start?
Big
But Bally was. I think he's alright after his. Like,
Yeah, you fucking shut up, all evening.
close up pizza.
Now, but guys, this is good. So, and guys, if you're listening right now, you're watching the podcast. The idea is to just keep the content coming. We just want to be active. We want to kind of share stories. We want to show you not just music. We want to show you, we want to dig deep into current affairs, issues. We want to talk about mental health. We want to talk about the banter. We want to talk wedding related. If you're a couple, what dramas you had or what great stuff that you can
I think
maybe inspire.
we just want to talk.
We just want to talk. So anyone that wants to kind of drop us some feedback and stuff, just hit us up. And this is all going to be on our social media platforms, etc. On our website, usrmusic.co.uk. So you can grab this podcast, download them as you're driving to London for work, etc. Just tune in, because at the end there, look, we're just going to be talking away. And if you guys are enjoying what we're doing, just keep locked in. Tell a friend, tell your master, tell your boy, tell everyone to lock in. And like I say, over the coming weeks, we're just going to keep it active. We're going to be dropping videos and podcasts. And yeah, so this is all new to us. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. We've had a fucking blast. I've actually really, what time is it? About 1 o'clock in the morning or something.
Is it?
Yeah.
Dead on.
Yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning, guys.
Oh,
and we're
man.
sitting here with so much energy because it's been fun. But
It's way past my bedtime.
I think we should call it a night now, boys. Go home and get up tomorrow and active for the next day. But
Yeah, and I just want to say, just keep a lookout for that custom booth.
so is it going to be like a pattern how we say bye, or should we just say bye?
Bye.
Bye.
All right, see you guys. Take care. Bye.